Hello everyone and welcome to the next stage in my career. It's a race at the European Grand Prix in Valencia. As you saw quickly there, I'm still thrashing my teammate, he's not beating me on anything, and I've extended my strategy by 1 lap, so I'll go on to the prime tyres 1 lap later than they originally recommended. Okay, so going to track then. As you can see, I starting P2. I have an exciting quali in which it was soaking wet at the end, quali 3 only, and I did just about manage to get up to P2. It was very close to being further down. Corrosion just behind me then. So going to try and get past Webber then, off the line. Let's see if I can do it. 4 lights, 5 lights. And they're out. Here we go then. Straight to rich mixture. A little bit wheel spin, not too bad. Looks like I've gained some on Webber. Kerr's fully activated. Let's see if I'm past him. He's still on the inside of me there. I'm still not quite ahead of him. I might just nudge ahead of him now. See if I can outbrake him around the outside. Am I ahead of him? Whoa, almost going to the barrier there. Do manage to avoid it. Yes, plenty ahead of him. Looks like I must have outbraked him in the first corner. Okay, so just need to push now and try and build a bit of a gap so we can't get me back, as obviously Red Bull is quicker than Caterham. Ooh, was I lose concentration a little bit there and go into the barrier? I didn't want to be doing that. So 14 laps then in this race, 25% distance. So I'll turn my brakes to the rear to avoid a bit of front lock-in. So whoever's caught straight back up on me, he's only 6/10 behind me now. Clearly quicker is that Red Bull than my Caterham. Let's see if he can overtake me. Probably not in this lap, possibly in 2 laps time when he's got DRS though. We'll see how that pans out. Still though, trying to push, get away from him a bit. We'll see how that works. So the other day then I published a video asking for your opinion on what I should do with my career. As I stated in that video, my YouTube videos are a few races behind what I've got recorded ready, so it's actually just after the German Grand Prix that I've been offered a contract with Force India. So I can either move to Force India now, mid-season, or I can stick with Caterham. I've left it up to you guys. That'll be quite nice for you to choose what happens, since you're the ones that are viewing it. At the moment, at the time of making, I've had about 60 replies, which is pretty good. Happy with that. Thanks for all your input. And Caterham are winning, but they've only got about 53% of the overall amount, so it's not very much. So it can easily flip back to Force India, so it's very, very close. I will keep it open probably until I stop getting replies, really, because I should imagine in a week or so I'll pretty much get no replies, so it's pointless carrying it on. I've also been promoting it on the Codemasters F1 forums for F1 2012. Try and get their input as well. I think I've had about 200 views or so of that post. So I've had the input from over there as well. So we'll see how it plans out. I think since this has been relatively successful, it seems to have been so far, I'll probably try and include you guys a bit more in various decisions. Probably on my next season challenge career, not this one because I'm already around halfway. On the next one I'll probably do it entire on based on your decisions. So I'll first of all do a survey to ask which team I should start with. Was I run wide in the Astroturf there, and the penalty system makes me cover throttle. Don't want to be doing that. Yes, so if I ask you which team I want to start with, tell me I start with that team and then do a couple of races and then ask you if I should move to that team. Probably ask you which rival as well, so it will be a season challenge very much influenced and engineered by you guys, which personally, if I was on the other end, I would quite like. The idea of being able to join in, not just watch, but also take part. My Steam group as well, it's also been talking about taking part. It's also been going pretty well. Got around 15 members now. I think I've noticed as well, if you go on the link in the description, it does say invite only. It's not, it is actually public, but I think if you go on Steam and find my group, or add me first and then find my group, I think it should be open, but for some reason when you go in the web browser it will probably say invite only, which is wrong. But anyway, so hoping to get a few more with that so we can have a few more successful on-run races. I'm looking to do some longer races as well, perhaps a one-shot qualifying and a 25% distance online race, but I want to get a nice big field together first. Oh, was I run very wide there, coming up to DRS though, did not want to be doing that. So I managed to get back on. Oh, I did push Webber a bit wide there, but he should have seen me coming back on the track. I think he will have DRS, we'll see. Didn't quite managed to see it there. Judging by the minimap, he's gaining a lot on me. I think he has got DRS. He certainly has. Yes, right alongside me then. As he eases off and I managed to stay ahead. I was very close, so I need to not make any mistakes, because if he gets ahead, that'll be it probably. He'll probably just be able to pull away from me, because he has got the superior car. For sure. As I run wide on the actual turf once again there then. So you can see I'm pushing very hard. Got 4 laps additional fuel left. So yeah, going back to my Steam group. So it'd be good to get a few more of you guys in it. So we can have nice competitive races, and at some point, possibly before Christmas, probably after Christmas though, I would like to start a co-op championship with someone. What I'll probably do, once I get a few more subscribers, again just, ooh, as I lock the rears there and get some oversteer into the corner, didn't want to be doing that. So yes, co-op championship then. What I'll probably do is have a bit of audition. So you've got to add me as a friend first, and then I'll set a track, I'll set a time trial, probably time attack actually. Whoever gets the closest to it or even beats it, whoever's fastest apart from me, I'll do a co-op championship with. I think that'd be best. I do enjoy playing with people with mixed abilities, some slower, some faster, especially in my online races, but I think with a co-op championship it would be more entertaining overall for all you guys if I play with someone who's very competitive. So, ooh, was I accidentally shifting to neutral there, which makes my rear wheels lock. Don't want to be doing that. So again, it's push Weber close to me again in the DRS zone, so let's see if we can get me then using all of my curves. Let him go into rich mixture, just desperately try and keep this gap. So it looks like he's gaining on me. Ooh, he's flying, look at that, look how good his top speed is compared to mine. Long side by side then, but I've got the inside iron, I should be able to do it as long as I don't outbrake myself, and indeed I have managed to keep the position. So if I can do that every lap then up until we pit, hopefully I'll have a bit better pace on the prime tyres, but we'll see how that plays out. But for now I just need to concentrate on keeping Weber behind me, because it doesn't look like I've got the speed to pull away from him, so just keep him behind me I'll be happy with. So yes, Co-op Championship, would like to start one of those at some point. Certainly after the real Formula 1 season's finished though, because at the moment, especially in this November month, there's 3 races all in 1 month I believe, so I like to do track guides for every single circuit. Ooh, I was very wide in the last corner, that lets Weber nearly alongside me, but I do just about manage to stay ahead of him, fortunately. So I'm making quite a few mistakes in this one. I do get my fastest lap of the race though, so the speed's picking up. So yeah, after the Formula 1 season's finished, because like I say, I like to do track guides and a quick race on the circuit that the real Formula 1 guys are racing around, so I'm only half a second off the fastest lap there, that's not too bad. Mind you, Hamilton might be in this queue, and I'm not too sure, I can't see him. So that'll give one of you guys anyway with the Co-op Championship an opportunity to join me, be consistently in my videos. Probably do, I think it'd be 1 or 2 races every, perhaps Sunday afternoon or something, so again, these details are all unconfirmed, this is just what's going through my head at the moment. And I will release a special video just for it, like I have done with this career contract choice, when it comes to it, so I'll let you guys know. Okay, so Weber's still behind me then. I got away from him enough in that DRS zone that he couldn't challenge me. Ooh, was run very, very wide again. I seem to push hard, a little bit too hard around that corner. So I'm now going to rich mixture, not only on the long straight, but also on this secondary straight, just to help my straight line speed a little there. Ooh, so I run very, very wide into that hairpin. Did not want to be doing that, as long as I, yeah, just about managed to stay ahead of Weber. Happy with that. So I bounce over the curbs and get a slight bit of oversteer there. So the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix this weekend then. I've already released a track guide video, and just after this video, well not just after, probably day after, I'll release a quick race at Abu Dhabi.
Be aware, we think the car behind is trying to save
It's always good to have, not topical, but races and various events on the circuit that the real guys are racing around. It's always nice to do that. Almost like get a little bit of oversteer, but didn't affect me too much there. We're still quite close behind me. I'm pitting in, is it next lap or lap after? I can't quite remember. I think it might be lap 7, lap after. So, ooh, a bit more rear locking there. You hear the engine rev suddenly drop. That means my rears are locking. So that's a bit of a better corner, that one. So just trying to get a good exit. Mixture, using all my curves once again. Just desperately trying to keep Webber firmly behind me, but he's got his DRS once again. Will he be alongside me in the braking zone? I think he will. As he backs out of it, fortunately for me. So it looks like I've remained ahead of him for now. Ooh, get massive wheel spin there and a little bit of oversteer, but it didn't affect me too much. Lost a little bit of time, but not a great deal. As Webber looks like he's lost a bit of time behind me there. He's fallen back from me a bit. Perhaps that might mean he's not going to threaten me with his DRS zone next lap. Ooh, half a second after my previous. Wow. Fly on this lap then. So indeed, just over a second. So if I can maintain that gap, I'll be out of his DRS zone. I can maintain the gap a bit more coming into the pits. So indeed, yes, lap 7 you saw there. Still got plenty of fuel. So just trying to put together some quick laps now. Let's try and pull away from Webber, because if I'm too close to him in the pits, I'm sure some of you guys are aware that sometimes it will hold you because he's coming past. So I need to try and pull out a bit of a gap to him, which you saw there, go into rich fuel mixture. Desperately trying to pull a gap out on Webber so I can make sure he doesn't hold me up in the pits. It's the fastest lap of the race there, so if I can maintain that over this next lap, I should have enough gap to him in the pits. Looks like I might be out of his DRS zone. See how that pans out. I believe the detection point's just around here at the end of this sector. I think it's there. So fastest first sector of anyone then. Indeed, 1.4, so I pulled another half second out on him. Not too bad. So he's not in my DRS zone, so that should allow me to get away a little bit further once again. Through the gears then, on this long straight. So pitting in the end of this lap. So I need to not make any mistakes, otherwise that will give him all that time back. And these last couple of laps will be completely wasted. It's looking good so far. See if I run wide then on the AstroTurf in this corner like I quite often do. Ooh, do get a bit of oversteer mid-corner, but no, it's not too bad. Didn't have all 4 wheels on it anyway, so that's good. So it looks like I still maintain the gap to Mark Webber. Once again, purple middle sector, 10th up my previous. 1.3 to Mark Webber, so he's gaining on me a little bit, but if I push out in this last sector, I'm sure I'll have enough of a gap to him. So coming up to the last corner then, this pit entry is a little bit tricky. It's an incredibly unusual line, as you can see there, a lot more inside wheel. Ooh, nearly hit the barrier. Don't think I lost too much time, maybe a tenth or two, but nothing major, so got away with that one somewhat. As you see the McLaren pit in there, along with the Red Bull, so Red Bull's already back out in the pits. Put my tyres on. Oh, looks like I might be held. I am indeed, look at that. 4 cars, or 2 cars actually. I thought it was going to be 4, but managed to squeeze out. 2 cars, so back 2 places then, behind Webber and Grosjean, so they tend to be slower than me on cold tyres, so let's see if I can pounce right at the beginning. Ooh, as Grosjean brakes early and I dive straight up the inside of him. Ooh, so I get a bit of rear lock in there and have a bit of oversteer, but that's Grosjean dispatched of. Let's see if I can stay close to Webber and get in the DRS zone. As I said, I need to do it as early as possible because they're a bit slower than me on cold tyres, I generally find. Looks like I might just about be in his DRS zone, but it'll be close. You can see on the right hand side there, my tyres are still pretty cold. Indeed, yes, well inside the DRS zone. So I need to just hold the gap to him. Next couple of corners, I should be able to get him on the big long straight. See the tyres starting to go up to temperature there. So it looks like I might be able to get him using all my curves once again. DRS open. Gaining plenty of speed on him, look at that. Covering the inside lines, I'll have to go to the outside. And there we go. Looks like as long as I don't break myself, looks like I might have him. I have indeed. That was a bit close there, wasn't it? And that's what I said, I needed to pull out a gap. So I didn't pull out, ooh, run very wide there. Got a lot of understeer in these cold tyres. That's what I was saying before I came into the pits, wasn't it? That I need to pull out a gap. Otherwise, exactly that would happen. I just didn't quite pull out enough of a gap. Also find that the Caterham guys are a bit slower at changing the tyres than perhaps the Red Bull guys. So there's that disadvantage as well. So second back to Webber now, so I've pulled out a bigger gap on him because his tyres are obviously still cold, along with mine. They're starting pretty warm now though. Generally takes about a lap and a half or so to fully warm your tyres. At the end of this lap they'll be pretty warm, but not quite there. So again, reasonable gap to Webber there. Let's see what it is. It's 1.5, so half a second in the last sector then, so I am still pulling out a gap on him. So I cut the first corner quite a bit. I didn't get a warning though, interestingly. You can cut that a little bit, but I thought I'd have got a warning there. I did cut that quite a bit. So again, just pushing very hard, trying to pull away from Webber as much as I can. Because I find that if they're close to you, partly because of the DRS zone, but they do pick up the pace a little bit than if they're further back from you. So again, purple first sector. Fastest of anyone so far. So it's now 2 seconds back to Mr. Webber then. So 6/10 in the first sector. Using most of my curves then on this straight. Don't use it all because he's not behind me hounding me with DRS. So it looks like I might have gained a little bit more time in once again. So again, just trying to push hard, gain much time as on him as I can, just in case they are still faster than me on the primes. So my tyres will be warm now, but I need to try and get as much advantage in the beginning part of this stint as I can, so I'm not under as much pressure towards the end of the race. So 5 laps to go then, at the end of this one. 5.6 up in previous, but that was the lap I pitted on. But purple sector, that's what I like to see, fastest of anyone so far. 2.3 back to Webber, so still pulling out a little bit of a gap on him then. They are a bit faster than me in the middle sector though, so not too much, but that hopefully means I can pull out even more in this last sector. See how it plays out. So coming to this last corner then, very, very tricky braking zone in here, but I do manage to get around it just fine, no locking. Hopefully the gears once again to the start finish line. Let's see what this gap is. So 42.3, fastest lap of the race. Purple, yeah, must be the fastest lap of the race so far, unless anyone beats it just behind me. 2.3 back to Webber, so I didn't gain any on him in the last sector, so it looks like he's now picked up the speed as is indeed the fastest lap of the race so far, 42.3. So you can see I'm still pushing hard, a lot of little twitches and corrections on the wheel as I am on the limit of grip. Just constantly correct it, keep it in line. So slightly faster then, 1.5 hundredths up my previous. 2.5 back to Webber, so still putting out little tiny bits on him here and there, not a lot but little bits. So for the gears once again then, using most of my curves, just over half really. So let's see if I can pull some at him on his middle sector then. Well, like I said, he's generally been faster.
We think the car behind is running on full revs.
He tells me there that Webber's on full revs. So I don't believe I'm on full revs. Can't actually remember what I've set my revs to at the moment, but we'll see in a moment probably because I will change it at some point. I think I might be on full revs actually, not too sure. But so half a tenth up then. My previous, not too bad. Need to keep the speed up then in this last sector, and I'll have another fastest lap. So 2.8 back to Webber then. Gained a bit more on in there in that middle sector. He obviously made a bit of a mistake because he was quicker than that last time around. So I braked very late there for that last corner and just about managed to make it round. Did miss my apex, but that's me just pushing hard, and I think, yeah, there we go. Gained a little bit more time there, another 400ths to go, another fast lap, 42.222. So 2.9 back to Webber, so looks like I mentioned earlier, I am indeed quicker on the harder prime tyres, which I do generally tend to find as a general rule across the board, in this Caterham at least, across all the tracks, but obviously there's no guarantees. If I'm a lot slower anyway on, say, the option softer tyre, I'm going to be slower on the harder tyre, but wasn't too far off them, only about half a second on the softer tyre. I don't know whether it's the car being developed or what, but I do seem to be, well, I've got fast lap of the race, so at the beginning of the season I was over 2 seconds off their pace, wasn't I? It was just a case of getting past them. When the race I was in qualifying, it's a bit closer, but in the race it was just a case of getting past them and then just holding that gap, wasn't it? I couldn't challenge anyone in front of me, no way. But now I'm not sure whether it's car evolution or whether it's these circuits that suit me better or what. I'm not really sure what it is, but certainly a lot more competitive now than I was, which makes my decision with that Force India contract even harder. Fortunately though, I'd have to make it do. Oh, 7/10 of my previous then, so I've found a big bunch of time as I've run wide at the hairpin. They'll get way too excited about keeping that much up. So God knows where I found all that time, but it's certainly helping. So I'm 3.9 back to Webber, so still pushing very hard then. Was a little bit locking on the outside wheel there. And the locking is very difficult in F1 2012. It's in real life you see them locking and then they ease off the brakes a little bit, sort of like ABS, so they effectively tap the brakes. 41.4 there, lead 7/10 up. As they tap the brakes effectively, which is what ABS does, just quickly tap in, on off, on off, on off the brakes, which normally stops it locking. As you quite often see when they've got a big lock up on, wheels will spin slightly, then lock, then spin slightly, then lock, then spin slightly, then lock. That's them doing that. And I do the same thing driving this, but if it's properly locked, you can't really do anything about it. Even if you come off the brakes and back on, you'll probably lock it again straight away. It seems quite difficult to stop locking once you have locked, and it does make a big difference when you are locking your brakes. You run quite considerably wide. I mean, obviously if you've got a big lock up, fair enough, but even if it's only a little lock up, I think it affects you a bit too much. Only a little bit, but these little tweaks that I'm sure they'll make for F1 2013. But in my opinion anyway, this game's a lot better than previous years. So previous years they had a lot to do, mainly with the game engine, but I think this year it's just tweaks and then I think they're pretty much there. I mean, I guess you're never there with a yearly title. Something like FIFA comes out every year but still sell millions. I'm sure none of them developers would say they're nearly there. It's just an evolution, isn't it? I was second down then, so a few little mistakes have cost me on this lap. But not too bad. I've still got 3.8 back to Webber, so he's not really gaining on me. So at the end of this lap then, 2 laps to go it will be. So not long to go now. So again, brake very late for that last corner there. Very nearly, well I do run a bit wide, but very nearly run very wide. You can see someone in the pits there. It's probably a back marker pitting. Gives me a nice easy way to lap him. Doesn't go out in front of Webber though, unfortunately. That would have been nice. Slow Webber down a bit. You can see there, Webber's pulling away from Grosjean. Look, he's almost 4 seconds up on Grosjean. So Grosjean's obviously not as quick on this harder tyre. Me and Webber. He's falling back, where he's certainly sticking with Webber before. Whether that was because I was slowing Webber down, I'm not too sure. 10th down on my previous then, which was the one that was a second off my fastest, so certainly not going as fast, but I don't need to anymore. Webber needs to gain around 2 seconds a lap on me in order to, catch me really, let alone beat me. So as long as I can stay within, say, a second a lap of his pace, the win's comfortably mine, as long as I don't make any mistakes, obviously. So we're on halfway around the lap now then. So a bit wide there, get a bit of understeer. I do seem to have got that corner there quite comfortably now, don't I? Not running wide half as much, which is good. You see I've got 1 lap extra fuel there, so I'll probably go for a last ditch lap on the very last lap. So 3.6 to Webber then, again a couple tenths on me there, but nothing that concerns me. It's 4.3 to Grosjean, so he's pulling out even more on Grosjean. So he'll have to be over 3 seconds quicker than me on this last lap to beat me, so unless I make a big mistake, that's not going to happen. As you saw me turn into rich mixture there. Ready to go for a flyer on this last lap. Even save a bit of curves there, like a proper flying lap this is. So let's see if I can beat my fastest lap then. So 41.4 as it stands. Push very hard and see what I can do. So 3.3 back to Webber, but obviously I'm pushing hard now, so can't imagine that. Unless I make a mistake, that time's going to get eroded anymore. Ooh, so I went a bit wide there and touched the barrier, but didn't damage my car at all. So no worries there. In 6th gear, first sector, 2.5 tenths up my previous. Not purple though, so it's not fastest overall. Close to it though, I should imagine. Certainly within a tenth anyway, I would say. So 3.8 back to Webber again, so pulled out a bit more on him now. Using just over half my curves again in this long straight. So again, around halfway around the lap now. So let's see what I can do in these middle parts of the lap here, in between the 2 long straights. See if I can get this corner right while pushing. I can indeed, yes. Using the rest of my curves then on this last little straight. So let's see then, see if I can go purple sector. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. 1.2 up my previous, so it wasn't purple, but I can't imagine it's very far off. So I'm sure if I have a lightning fast, last sector I'll do it, but having had that oversteer, I'm not so sure what's going to happen now. Wasn't much, so I could still do it, but It's less likely. Don't know if I got good launch out of the last corner. 4.5 back to Webber now then. So it doesn't look like he's going to beat me. No, I do get a good last corner. Oh, was I cut the last corner? Didn't mean to do that, but... So what's the lap time going to be then? A 41.5 by the looks of it. So didn't quite beat my fastest lap though, but within 10th or 2 of it. So not too bad at all. With my teammates 19th, as you can see there. And I'm first. Maximum 25 points for me. Certainly helped my championship lead. Well, my championship rather.
Excellent job today. That's P1. P1.
My engineer sounds very excited there. 4.6 back to Webber. 41.4 fastest lap. So ran a second faster than I was in the end on my fastest lap. As Jensen's right back there. That's an interesting one. Not sure what happened to him.
Fantastic
So
win.
indeed.
That's a hat-trick. Well done.
Lead the
Really
championship
nice
there.
driving.
43 points back to Hamilton. My Caterham second, only 2 points down on Red Bull. Look at that, that's close. Obviously, Heikki Kovalainen hasn't helped me at all with his points tally, so it's all been me that. There's this celebration that we've seen many times now, and I'm sure there's more to come. Particularly if I move to more Force India, I'm sure it'll be faster than my Caterham. But we'll see how it turns out. A couple of punches of the air there. Webber congratulates me. Not sure I'd be so happy. That, but there we go. One last punch of the air. So there we go then. That was the race at the European Grand Prix in Valencia. So next up, I will, as I said, probably tomorrow or day after, I'll do a quick race at Abu Dhabi to celebrate this weekend's Grand Prix. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.